All right, so I wanted to use this example because it's something that I've been, it's something that has constantly come up for myself, and I'm sure many of you guys as well. So, you know, for the last 3, 4 months, I was studying for personal training, and I've been studying it, still am. I go to class twice a week, and that's just how it is, right? So, there have been times when I was like, man, maybe I shouldn't go to class because I'm like, I just don't know what I'm doing, or something like that. And it's funny because like I go to class, all that fear that happens like in my head is non-existent. I do relatively well. Even if I don't understand terms, maybe if I feel behind, I can still pick it up. I can ask the teacher some questions, or even sometimes just observe and see what's going on. And I think this is something that's super super important. Just a concept of this showing up. you know Even in terms of this podcasting that I've been starting, it's a lot of times it's like I don't really know, yes, I have the plan of what I'm going to talk about, but you don't really know what you're going to talk about until you actually get to the podcast or something like that, right? Even, sometimes, even if you go to the gym, if you go to the gym, the equipments that you might want to use, maybe you have a plan for yourself, maybe those are being used, maybe someone's on the deadlift, they're deadlifting for the whole like 60 minutes if you there's a limit at your gym. Things like that happen, right? But when you show up, at least you'll know that if I tell myself, you know what, I'm not going to go to the gym today, simply, and when I plan to go to the gym, simply because I'm just not feeling like going to the gym, you as a person will start to feel like, man, what would have happened had I gone to the gym? Or, if you want to make a YouTube video and maybe you've already recorded that YouTube video, but you're hesitant to upload that YouTube video. Now, there's different reasons why. If you're just hesitant of uploading that YouTube video simply because, you're afraid of what the opinions of others, that is a different story. If you're afraid because it's going to be a controversial video, maybe that's a different story, right? But things like that, like even in terms of like taking exams with everything you do, right? Once you actually do it, once you actually start get into it, whether you pass, whether you fail, whether you do really well, whether you just don't do really well, you'll start to gain an understanding, and you'll actually just understand, okay, am I doing this right? Am I doing this wrong? What did I do right? What did I do wrong? And things along those lines. So I think it's something that's super super important for any of us, just trying to figure out what we're trying to do. And honestly, like, showing up has it's helped me a lot, even in terms of like my photography school. There was a time when I was starting to miss a lot of classes, and that affected me, of course. But at the same time too, I realized that I have to show up. If I don't show up to classes, even if you don't understand anything that's going on, at least showing up to the classes, like, you'll gain something. Like, even if it's like 10% of what you're listening to, like in the class or whatever it is, it's still 10%. You're still getting something out of it, and you're still getting an experience out of it. So that's the reason why I think I mentioned this, because especially when you're in high school, especially when there's a lot of people that like to skip school, and I think it builds up to a point when like you get older as well, because a lot of things that we do, it's we build as a habit, right? So you're like, oh, I don't want to go to this class, I'll skip this class. So you go, you skip that class, and you start to skip this class, start to skip this class, and you start to feel like, oh, it's just high school class, right? But sometimes what we don't realize is it can kind of translate to our actual life in general, right? So when you don't show up to this class, it may translate to you not showing up to, maybe it's this job interview because you're hesitant, maybe you're afraid, right? Or maybe you're just, you're hesitant to start that thing. Even like on Instagram, right? Some of you guys already know I upload quite a bit on Instagram. I try my best to stay consistent. It's not easy doing photo shoots and stuff like that. It's and trying to find photos that I can upload, but I do try to stay consistent. And the reason why is because I don't commit myself to any posts. I just tell myself, you know what, this is a good post. I really like it. I feel like other people would enjoy the post, so I will upload it. I know a lot of people that will look at a post and then they'll just be like, man, what should I upload this? Should I upload it? Should I upload it? Should I upload it? When should I upload it? The thing about it is we live in a world right now where people's attention spans are so low. They'll literally, I don't know, look at the way that you absorb content, right? If you odds are you're probably scrolling a lot, right? Most people will just scroll, they'll see your photo, oh, that's cool, and then they'll just like scroll up again, and then maybe they'll like, maybe they won't like. Some people will just really scroll and just look. looking for that next dopamine rush. So once you upload that photo or video, you're on to the next one. And I think that's another thing. Sometimes you just gotta keep going. You gotta upload and just figure that out. Figure out a schedule for yourself that might be relatively consistent to you and that might work for you. And if you don't feel like doing it, then don't do it. But if you have that itch that you should do it, but you're not, then maybe you want to talk to yourself and ask yourself, what, maybe I should upload it. And just things along those lines. Showing up is not just like, oh, I'm gonna show up and just be there, right? Showing up means that when you're there, you give it your full attention, right? So if I go to a class and I tell myself, what, maybe I shouldn't, maybe I don't shouldn't. If I go to that class, just put your full efforts into that class that you're in. Focus. Even if maybe your attention span is low, sometimes when I'm in a class or something along those lines or whatever it is, sometimes my mind can wander. But sometimes take your mind back and just be like, oh, I'm thinking about other things. Focus that. I tend to overthink a lot, so I tend sometimes the teacher or whatever, like something will happen, someone will be talking and my mind will wander off like in a completely different world, and then all of a sudden I'll be like, oh wait, I'm not present, so I have to bring myself back again and just stay present. And that's another thing as well. So that's something I just wanted to share with you guys. Like it's not really like any specific video, but just to show up. Whether it's that exam that you're trying to do, you're hesitant, you're like, man, should I do this test? And whether it's something in your life that you're just trying to do, whether it's a habit you're trying to start, just show up. That's really key. If you're hesitant to work out, go to the gym, show up, figure out a strategy for you. Maybe I like to always say, go for a walk. That's the great way to start exercising. So that's pretty much all I wanted to share in this video. If you guys enjoyed, please like, please subscribe. And yeah, I am going to get off this video, but this is the type of videos that I like to make, and I think it's something that could resonate with a lot of you guys, especially myself as well. Trying to figure out some kind of flow for myself to just keep showing up, keep going. Trying to balance this, trying to balance that. I know it's not easy to balance a whole bunch of things, but once you start to understand, your abilities and you start to understand yourself as an individual, I feel like a lot of us can benefit in general. So yeah, I think I'm going to end the video off here. And again, I would love to say more, but there's just nothing that's really in my head right now. Just all I have to say is to show up. Even making this video, I told myself, what? I'm building this new setup. I'm trying my best. I just want to test it out, see how this looks. And yeah, maybe people will resonate, maybe people won't resonate, but I'm making the video. And yeah, so thanks again. I will talk to you guys later. I forgot the peace sign. Peace.